Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Billy Indiana. In the last couple of months, I've had just a flood of crowd-funded games arrive on the doorstep, some through GameFound, some through Kickstarter, even BackerKit, I believe. And I just haven't had a chance to even open them because of busyness at school and coaching basketball. So now I've finally hit Christmas break and starting to open up some of these games. Just thought I would share what's inside some of these boxes with you if you're interested. So I've got these and a couple more off to the side. I'm just going to pick one for today. And today, let's take a look at Nova Roma. So Nova Roma is a game by Stan Kordonskiy, and it's by Half a Kingdom Games. And I've actually played a friend's copy of this game, but I ordered it myself and haven't had a chance to unbox my copy yet. So well, let's do that today so I can potentially play this, my own copy, with somebody, either that same friend or other friends or my wife. This is a kind of a game. It feels to me, after having just played it the one time, a little bit like what I like in Stefan Feld games. There's kind of a point salad, a lot of little mini games. So I really enjoyed my first play. Looking forward to future plays. So let's see what this box says. In 324 AD, Emperor Constantine selected the ancient city of Byzantium on the shores of the Bosphorus to become the site of his new capital. He named it Nova Roma, which means New Rome. To establish his magnificent new capital, the emperor summoned his most trusted patricians and tasked them with a variety of duties. With the emperor's tireless support, this incredible task was accomplished in just 6 years. In Nova Roma, you are the head of an ancient and noble Roman house. You must deploy your family members and retainers to accomplish a variety of goals. Construct buildings, dominate sea routes, secure resources, race in the hippodrome, and hire specialists. At the end of the game, the family that has done the most to please the emperor and achieve their own agendas will emerge as the victor. All right, let's check out what's in this one. It does say it's for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, 60 to 120 minutes. We just played a 2-player game the other day. I think it was probably 90 minutes, I'm guessing. Didn't time it, so I'm not 100% sure. So here we have the rule book. We'll just give a quick run through here. A nice list of the components here. And the setup, I like this. A very detailed setup is handy. Gameplay, we've got the Emperor phase, Forum phase. I liked this aspect, this little player board of choosing which 2 actions you were going to take advantage of and which ones you're going to get potentially better actions for. Forum actions, one of them being estate tile types, petition actions, recruit actions, sale actions, the Black Sea map explaining that, the build action, the race action, the produce action, and features of the estate boards described here as well. The mosaic board, part of your personal player board. The cleanup phase, additional 2-player rules. We did have that because we were playing with just 2 players. End game, mosaic tile index, in case you're unclear about what some of those tiles mean. Follower card index. We've got estate tile index and the solo rules. Solo rules continued and the end game for that, and then some credits. And then on the back, action reference. So there's the rule book. We've got our punch board here. And so this is the individual player board. And I'm not going to go into any kind of review. I've just played it once. But here's the mosaic where you're putting out tiles potentially and then sending, I think it's artisans perhaps. I forget the name, but you're putting it out here to get, again, if you put it here, you would get wood and wine. And over here, you're tracking your resources, which are these 5 materials. There's a little bit of a set collection with some animal cards, and then this shows you your influence ranking here. So that's just one quick look at the player board. Another part of the personal player board is this part. So I just had mine side by side like that as we were playing. And these pop out and you can adjust them so you can have a different variety each game, but you're also placing down achievements, which are these little tiles, I believe. We didn't use pink, but I'm assuming that's what these are for. You place them here, and if you get full rows and full columns and diagonals, it shows you some benefits here. And when you cover it up, if you've achieved what it dictates, then you get some advantages in that regard as well. potentially if you're in the first row. And then, like I said, you're going to get in-game points and these advantages as you complete rows and columns. So just a very quick overview. Not going to get into much gameplay there, but just one quick thing. And then here it looks like primarily for another player, the same kind of deal, for a third player and for a fourth player. All right. And here's the back, so you can see what those look like. All right. And then here's an additional additional punch board with more tokens and some money. And then here we've got the main player board. And we've got up in the top here is the race for sea routes. And then over here, you're trying to build, and there's a little polyomino game that's going on up here in the building part. Here is the action selection portion of the board, and you're going to have tiles here and here. And if you place here, then you would get this action, and that'll be different every game. And then over here, you've got the hippodrome racing. Down here, you're going to have different followers you can hire for their advantages. And then down here, you're going to have those tiles that fill up your mosaic to give you different advantages as well. And so you're going to basically, it's a worker placement game. You're going to decide by placing your workers here which of these actions you're going to be taking, whether it's building or sailing or racing, so on and so forth. And there's some nice art on the back. It's kind of a faint watercolor almost. I'm not sure if that's quite the right terminology, but that's a nice touch there. An empty bag, and then we've got more empty bags. We've got some player components here. I think this must be, these are the gray ones. These are the artisans, I think they're called. So everyone's going to have some gray ones. And they're nice chunky wooden pieces. And then we got this big, oops, these are stuck together. I hope that doesn't damage the screen printing. Okay, it came off all right. I left a little bit of a mark, but not too bad. So that's our first player marker, and at the end, whoever has this is going to earn 2 points, and just tells you to rotate from player to player. These are the various little resource trackers. So you've got, wheat and wood, horses, wine, and stone. And then these red, I think you just use those in the 2-player game. I know we did use them. They're kind of blocking. Well, there's 6 of them here, so maybe you use it in more than just a 2-player game. I don't know why. We just had 2 of them in a 2-player game, so maybe you use it in 3-player as well, or even all levels. Like I said, I haven't read the rules. He taught me the game really quickly, my friend did, and then we played a 2-player game. So those are some nice features there. This one is Augustus, I believe, and he is going to fit on that little grid where you determine your action. And if you choose to put your, I forget what the name of it, if you put your worker basically in the same row or column as Augustus, then you get a better version of that action. You get to double it or triple it. And it depends on which of the mini games you're playing as to what that actually means. And then these are the player pieces that you're putting out. So purple has their 3, and then blue, yellow, and pink. I'll put those down there. And then we've got these little cubes here for the polyomino part. When you build, you're going to be putting these cubes out of that polyomino thing and trying to surround little sections. And then we've got our boats for the sailing routes. So cute little boats for each player color. And then we've got our cards with art by the Micho, I think it's pronounced. I hear it said in so many different videos, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. And for whatever reason, I have a hard time remembering which is the right and which is the wrong version. But famous, I think, primarily initially for a lot of art in Garfield games, but then Endless Winter, and then this one as well. Lots of games, actually. So these are the different followers. We got a translator, a gambler, a messenger, a tamer, a senator. So these are some of the followers that you could hire. I think they're called followers, and use their advantages. Some of them are in-game advantages, some of them are during the game advantages, some are ongoing, and then here we have some player aids. So those are the cards in that pack. And then in this small pack, these are the different buildings that you would be constructing in the building phase, and the different sales, basically, I think the things you're going to be shipping around to develop those trade routes. And so the ones with the anchors on the back are for the trade routes. And so, for instance, to successfully do this portion of the sailing, you'd have to pay a wheat. And then some of them are more expensive. So this one, a wheat and some other resource. And this one paying a horse. And then here we've got, you might have to pay a horse and money. And so you have to pay what's there to complete that shipping route. And those are the anchor-backed cards. And then these are the building cards. And so if you can give up one of your artisans and a couple of wood, you get to place a 2x2 building with those cubes, these little cubes here. And then, so then there's different shapes. There's an L shape for 2 stones and a coin. There's a 1x2 for a stone and a coin. And so lots of interesting little decisions to make in this game, depending on which of the little mini games you are interested in trying to take on for that round. All right, so there you have it. That is Nova Roma, the deluxe edition. I don't know if there is actually a retail edition. I assume there probably is. Really enjoyed my first play. Can't wait to get it back to the table again. Hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing. If you have further questions for me, I have played it once, so I can try to answer those questions in the comments down below if you have those for me. If you've played this perhaps maybe more than once, or even just once, tell me what you like about the game Nova Roma, or maybe even what you didn't like. I'd love to read about that in the comments below as well. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy Indiana, signing off.